Open up the PowerPoint, so we're gonna review. And I got supposedly a sugarless mint. So everybody, good luck. Don't eat sugar, but I'll still eat a ton of it. Okay, so sensory receptors. We all know we have nerve endings. We have specialized nerves in our eyes, ears, equilibrium, smell. Excuse the chewing. Okay, so sensory receptors, as they're stimulated, some of them adapt. They stop responding. When we sit in a chair, we immediately feel pressure on various parts of our body. But after a period of time, we adapt and the nerves stop sending information. How do they do that? Incredible. We have receptive fields, the area monitored by a single receptor cell. So we know we have general senses and special senses. Smell, taste, vision, balance, and hearing. And temperature, pain, touch, pressure, vibration, and proprioception, which is incredibly important. And we had to train our body as a young baby. We had to train that system to allow us to monitor joint position and muscle, degree of muscle contraction. And we learned to walk, play tennis, ride a bike, drive a car. And we learn how to do these various things by input in the sensory system. So there's the receptive fields. We know from experience that your fingers have very, very small receptive fields, whereas the back of your neck, top of your arms, other places have very large receptive fields. So you cannot distinguish as well. So if you touch with your fingers, you can feel fine detail. Say you're rubbing it. Say you're blind and you're rubbing it over Braille. So how do blind people read? They rub their fingers over Braille. I can't imagine what that's like for not being able to see, but we should all rejoice in our sense of sight, hearing, smell, and so on. So stimulation of receptors produces action potentials that vary in the frequency of the action potentials depending upon the intensity of the stimulus. So a person's perception can give an idea of what's happening on the outside of your body, what's happening on the inside of your body, and so on. Pain receptors, so make sure you know these definitions. Referred pain, particularly when you have a heart attack, you can have pain in your left shoulder and left arm. I've never had a heart attack, so I'm lucky there. Please don't have one. Temperature, we all know that we're aware of how cool it is. To beat a dead horse, I remember living without air conditioning. Maybe some of you still do, but it's not pleasant. We had only an attic fan in my parents' home. We can also use mechanoreceptors, tactile receptors, baroreceptors, and proprioceptors. Responds to positions of joint and muscle. We're aware of what's going on all the time. We have multiple receptors in our skin and so on. We have receptors in our bladder, in our lungs, in our gut, in our small intestine, large intestine, all over the body. We're constantly aware of what's happening. The processes in the heart and gut and lungs and bladder and eyes happen automatically from the autonomic nervous system. So look at this list of receptors. We'll talk about on WebAssign the Pacinian corpuscles and the tactile disc, Meissner's corpuscles. Do we have a Meissner's corpuscle? We have Merkel cells. Those are very hard to see. Here's a Meissner's corpuscle right in the dermal papilla. Baroreceptors tell us about amount of CO2. I'm sorry, about the pressure in our bladder, in our heart, in our lungs. And these are the things that are monitored. Read through this. We have baroreceptors in the lung, in the aortic sinus, in the bladder wall, and in digestive tract. It's amazing that our body can process all this information. And I was listening to NPR today, and they were talking about a new book on dreams. And I know when I'm sleeping, if I'm having a dream, a lot of times it's something to get upset about. And I believe I'm experiencing that. Some people are able to predict or have a dream, which is exactly predicting what's going to happen in the future. How can that be? It happens. We mentioned what proprioceptors are. They monitor things called muscle spindles and Golgi tendon organs. We have chemoreceptors that tell us how much carbon dioxide, oxygen, and what the pH is. You gotta stay. You gotta stay. That's my dog. Sorry, I've been going all morning, and she's 14 years old, and she doesn't ask for much, but she's asking for something else. So let's stop this right here, and let me take another break. Sorry. So let's stop recording. Stop.